Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Delphine Konda and I run this YouTube channel where we talk about everything self-empowerment, from scholarships to study abroad, career development, and non-profit community impact. So in today's video, I have been thinking about talking to you guys about the documents that you need to put together if you are planning to study abroad. This may sound like very basic, but there are still some people that don't know. So I want to go through a list of documents that you should definitely put together before you start your admission process, or at least have it at the top of your mind that this is what I need to have in order to make this process work. If this is something that you're interested in, please don't go away. So what are the documents that you need if you are a prospective international student? So you want to do a master's degree, for instance, in a university outside of your country. What are those documents that you need to put together? The first thing that I will say is that you need to have your transcripts ready. Your transcripts are going to show your yearly performance in terms of your grade throughout the period where you were studying for your bachelor's. So your transcripts will tell the university that you're applying to what you have been doing in terms of your performance. Now, it's very important for you to apply for these transcripts from your university so that you have it ready and in place before you start applying for the study program that you want abroad. Number two thing is, for some countries, it is necessary for you, like I'm a Cameroonian, before you send your transcripts abroad, you have to certify them, usually from the university level and then at government administrative level. So it's important for you to learn what these procedures are with regards to your nationality and the country that you want to study at. And the next thing to also know is, what is the legalization process like? Because at the last minute, when you have a deadline, you're struggling to write your statement of purpose. That's not the time for you to start thinking about these things. So it's important to think about them in advance. So that's document number one. Document number two is your certificate. Now, for a Cameroonian like me, and at the time when I graduated from the university, we didn't get our certificates right after, like immediately. You have to wait for some time, for some months, and for some people for some years before your certificate can come. So what I did was I applied for a certificate of completion of studies, which shows that I have completed my study and the period that I have completed that study and the final GPA that I had. So I would recommend that you get something like this. For me, at the University of Boya, when I applied for this certificate, I also got an English language proficiency, which I used in some of the schools that I applied in Belgium at the time. But mind you, that was like 2012 period, so that's a long time ago. I used it because at that time, the universities I applied to did not need me to do a TOEFL or IELTS test. They just needed me to prove that I studied my bachelor's in English. So that's document number two. Document number three is a must and the most common. That's your passport. You need to apply for a passport and make sure that you have one in handy, just so that when you get your admission and you want to start your travel process, it will become easier for you to travel. Another thing why a passport is important is that there are some universities that when you are doing the biometric registration, like those kind of information that you register in the application portal, they do ask you for things like your passport number, and if you don't have it, for some application it becomes very complicated and you cannot complete the registration. So it's important for you to have that in advance before you even start applying for admission. At the time when I started doing my first master's degree, it wasn't compulsory in Belgium to have, for instance, an English language proficiency in some universities. So I used the English language proficiency from my university back in Cameroon, which stated that I'd done my full study for 4 years. I did a 4-year degree program in women and gender studies and law, and I graduated and I did it in English. So I used that to apply. But when I was applying for admission, when I got the Chevening scholarship, I needed to write an IELTS English language examination, which I did. So you need an English language certificate, whether it's coming from your school or it is required from the school that you want to study in. What I would recommend is that check the website of the school that you want to do your master's abroad and see if that's a requirement, and start thinking already ahead of time what you need to do in advance. That way it makes it easier for you to understand the process and navigate the process, because it's very important when you have information in advance. It helps you to sail through smoothly than if everything is a surprise or it's a shock to you at the time when you need it. The most important document that you would need if you're applying to study abroad is a statement of purpose or a personal statement. This is literally the document that gives you the opportunity to wow the school. This is the core of your admission. This is the main thing. This is what you have to write and say, hey, this is me. I want to study here. You need to tell them what you want to study, why you want to study that thing, why they should give you admission, why you are the best person to get that admission to study, what you're going to do with the knowledge after you have studied, and how your presence is going to contribute to the course and to the university. So this is the document. I have a video up here that you can use to see what I share about writing a personal statement. It's not that complicated. It's all about you writing about your own vision for the study program that you want to do. Do not forget in your statement of purpose to also talk about your past academic performances and also your career or work experience, because the more impact you have had at the level of your country, you can use, or your community, you can use that impact as an advantage to sail through and get a good spot in an admission in an international academic institution. Finally, the last document that I have is a recommendation letter. Whether you go up, you come down, left, no matter what you do, you are going to need a recommendation letter. Recommendation letters are very tricky in the sense that it's a document that you need, but how you get this document is entirely not really up to you. It's up to the recommender. So what I normally suggest, even in my Chevening videos, is that talk to your recommender or your referee way in advance, because they are usually very busy people. Like if you're going to ask a lecturer or your supervisor in your previous university or a supervisor at work, it's important to make sure that you tell them in advance so that they have it at the back of their mind that they are going to be doing this favor for you. The next thing that I would recommend to make your life easier, whether they are writing the letter, the recommendation or reference letter on their letterhead and submitting by email or handing it to you, or they are going to be filling out information in an online portal like most universities choose to do this day, I would recommend that you make a template. This template, what I normally do is I write my recommendation and give it to the referee. They are free to change what they see that is necessary, but the truth is that the core information of the study program or the thing that I want to do is there. So they are seeing it in the template that I have given them. It's a simple document. I write it in third person. So like literally just write my recommendation letter and give it to you so that it's easier. You would change things, of course, but you have the necessary information that you need for that particular recommendation. So these are the documents that I feel that you need to know about and start working on, especially because admissions are currently opening in most universities abroad, especially in Europe. So it's important that you have these documents or at least start thinking about how to get them. Let me know in the comment section if there are other aspects of study abroad that you need or you need us to discuss about on this channel. Until we meet again, like I always say, please do not forget to create some impact.